What's in a name? Everything. The power of a name has long been immortalized in prose, poetry, and history. It is your face to the world, your ambassador of quality that reflects your ideals and aspirations. Thompson's, a name, a family, a tradition of excellence. So it is with Thompson's Toyota, where our professional and courteous staff are eager to help you drive home your dream vehicle from the largest selection of new and used Toyota cars and trucks at the best prices. And if your vehicle needs service, our Toyota factory-trained and certified service technicians have the skill and expertise to do the job right and do it right the first time. Thompson's Toyota, where you'll always be treated like family.
This week, we're at the mouth of the Okanagan River on the Columbia River in north-central Washington for sockeye salmon. And then we're heading 500 miles downstream to the mouth of the Columbia River for some Buoy 10 Chinook salmon action. I'm Justin Wolff, and this is Angler West Television. Hey everybody, thanks for being here. Today we're going to the legendary Clearwater River in Idaho for some fantastic steelhead fishing. If you want to learn some side drifting and back trolling techniques, plus experience an incredible day on the water, then stay tuned. I'm Justin Wolff, and this is Angler West Television. After traveling for many hundreds of miles up the Columbia River, most of the system's sockeye salmon end up here in the Okanagan River, which eventually takes them into Canada. It's not surprising then that the mouth of the Okanagan is a hotspot for sockeye fishing, which has only in the past few years reopened as a sport fishery after successful enhancement projects. Today we're after these sockeye salmon with Bob Schmidt and Bobby Loomis of Max Lure. We're fishing with Max Lure Pro Staff member Richie Herod. We're on the Clearwater River with Guy Mel Stottlemyre
on each downrigger, and then we're fishing lead rods out the back.
Hooked up with a lead rods
River put us down, at the same depth.
If you're a baseball fan, you know Mel Stottlemyre as a former New York Yankees pitcher and longtime pitching coach.
We're fishing all virtually the same type
and
of gear on every one of them, other than some different colors.
Also fishing today is Mel's grandson Colton,
every day is a little bit
Brian
different.
Miller, and Steve Lynch.
It's worked out perfect because this is our last pass. So we picked one up.
Sockeye.
Perfect way to end the day.
Little shrimp on there for some extra
That's the
bait
last
traction.
fish of a double-digit day.
We're here on the
steelhead
Columbia River,
fishing.
just in the
The day
pool
started
above Wells
before
Dam near
sunrise at the
Brewster.
Little Canyon Shooting
And
Ranch, which is a
we're at the
great
mouth of
place
the
to stay
Okanagan
if you
River.
like to hunt pheasants or chuckers.
Kind of a wide part
and
of the
also,
Columbia River.
if you want to fish the
where
nearby
fish kind of stack up
Clearwater
before
River.
they go up.
After a great breakfast,
Okanagan
we launch
River.
the boat and prepare our
And,
baits.
Bob and Bobby here have just
Side
put the gear
drifting
down
or back
on the
trolling
downriggers
eggs
and
or
on lead
shrimp
weight.
are the favorite
We're
techniques
fishing
for
in
this
about
river.
15
But today,
feet of
we're
water
going to
right
begin
now.
with eggs.
What I like to do,
And fishing anywhere from
is,
20 to 26 feet.
once I get out
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
surprised
boat,
we haven't got bit yet. You know, this
I've
is,
cured up
this
my
has been
eggs
a really good
the
year
night
so
before
far.
with these happen to be the
Fish have
tuna
been
cure.
really stacked in here, and at times.
And I'll bring them out in the morning,
we've
just
been
prior to
catching
heading
fish
out
after
with my
fish,
group.
So it's a little
You
slow
can
this
see
morning,
they've
but
been in
it'll
a
pick
jar
up.
here where
Fish
they've
showing up
cured
here on the depth
overnight.
finder.
I've actually placed
going
them in a
to 'em right now.
refrigerator and got
And a
the
lot of times
texture
we'll
and
see
the
them on the
firmness
depth
the way that
finder
I
like
like them.
this, and then you know you watch the rods.
And I'll pour them out of a
in
jar
couple
here.
minutes when the gear goes through it. Of course, what you're seeing here is where the
You
boat
can see
is.
where
but
I've
as soon as the gear
butterflied 'em.
goes through where the fish are, that's
And open them
We'll
up and
start
allow the
watching.
cure to get inside the membranes and inside the berries.
And how finicky they
And I'll cut them in small clusters. And this time of year, with the water low and clear,
these fish, it'll be
I like to
somebody
keep the
turned dinner bell
clusters
on
on
and all of a
the
sudden
smaller
something
side.
clicks, and
When the
they'll just
flows
go
get
off,
up
and they'll bite for
and a
certain
little
period
higher
of
and the
time,
fish
and they'll
move
shut
into the
off.
deep hole, I'll cut them a little
And,
bit bigger for
it's a matter
today's
of,
purposes. We're going to cut them a little
that's
bit
why
on the
we raced
smaller
out here
side,
and got out here as early as we
a
could,
thumbnail size.
just because of the fact that it gives you a little more time
So
on the water, and you find those fish that are biting.
Take and cut them into quarter-size clusters,
in that
maybe a little
area.
smaller.
So
Then I'm going to take
We're
some
trying to find
borax,
the biters
and
right
I like
now.
the pink, probably more so for my eyes aesthetically. And I'm just going to sprinkle it on top of the eggs. You get it in
Let
there
it lift,
and mix
Bobby.
it up, and the borax is going to suck any extra moisture up. You can see that they were slightly on the wet side. So what the borax is going to do, it's going to suck up any of the extra moisture and toughen the eggs up.
Or not.
Okay, this first little hole right here, most of the fish will lay right down off that point.
Good.
But sometimes we're going to get them to this side of this little, kind of the fast water. You'll want to throw to this side. All right, grab your sticks. On this particular river, for whatever reason, it's a very soft, subtle bite.
Nice little
and
fish.
what I like to tell
mess
people
around
is
with the depth for a long time,
once you
find
think
out
you
where,
have a bite,
those
count
fish
to
are
3.
at, and
your barbless
the ones
hooks,
that are
set
actually
the hook.
biting.
Okay, lines out.
You got to play around with it a little bit. Once you find that depth, then you run everything at that depth.
Well, we were finally got the downrigger just about 18 feet.
Okay, when we pull up to the top of a run, we want to try to angle our
downstream
rods
actually this time, and actually
slightly
we've been finding
upriver out
that
at a
we're getting quite a
45,
few bites on the downstream troll.
and then I'll keep the motor
That fish hit
to where the lines are off to the side,
new
fishing the inside of a riffle,
sockeye rigs,
and not letting them get back behind me where they got a chance to
it's basically a
sit
glowing
down
dark
hard on the
squitter,
bottom and hang up.
silver
And we're
smile
just
blade
ticking
on
along the
top
bottom.
with
We're
our double
bouncing
D
along the
dodger.
bottom.
Taking these coon
And
shrimp
these fish will
and making
they'll
2-3
stop the bait
baits
before
out of
they
each
decide to
one.
take
So all
it.
you're doing is just getting a little bit of
Yeah,
scent
do that
and
softer.
the color on there. And it does a
And
lot
at
of
that
movement
point,
along
then
with
the
the
rod
smile blade as well
a
as
little
the
bit.
dodger.
You can see the smile blade in front of the Chattahoochee skirt there. Will almost come to a dead stop and then speed back up and slow down. And that's that stop and go action that double D
my
dodger
prediction
gives
come
it.
true anyway. I
And it's the
predicted
same
we'd
sort
get
of
a fish
action
out of this
fishermen
hole.
try to get when they
But I
make
think
those
he was
S
headed for
curves
my
and those
line,
X patterns
and,
to
somehow he got
trigger
on
the
yours.
fish. When they
That's
make
not
that
the
S
first time
curve,
I
it'll
stole the
slow
fish
down,
from somebody,
they
I'll
come
tell
out,
you
it
right
speeds
now.
back up.
Yeah.
And
I am
it'll
an
trigger those
addict,
strikes.
so
And
whatever it
that is
takes.
a constant action you get with that double D dodger. even though you
Usually
go
I'm not
in a straight
invited 2
line.
times in a row.
Welcome back to Brewster Pool on the Upper Columbia River in north central Washington. I'm Justin Wolff. Bob Schmidt, Bobby Loomis, and Richie Harrod are starting to get into some good sockeye fishing, which is the new hot fishery in this area, with big numbers now returning after decades of no sockeye fishing, after the building of Chief Joseph Dam with no fish ladder decimated the sockeye run. But the sockeye aren't the only fish now available here.
Is that a Chinook jack?
Yeah, it's a Chinook jack. A jack or an immature adult is considered a fish under 24 inches.
Well, we're really fortunate right here in this area because you could potentially get a limit of 22 fish here. You can get 6 sockeye apiece, you can get 10 triploids, and you can get 6 Chinook. And so this is a really good fishery right here, and you have the potential of getting quite a limit in a day.
Oh, this rod bit.
No way, really? Triple right here, Bobby. Lost it. Came off right there. Net.
Had a lot of action going on there. We thought all 4 rods went out, but actually the 1 rod got crossed with the other fish line, so we had 3 takedowns though, 3 out of 4.
Well, so far our normal catch ratio has really been kind of almost 2 to 1. I mean, it's not unusual to lose about half as many fishes that you actually catch.
Fish on.
Kick it out of gear real quick.
These sockeye salmon, despite being over 500 miles from the saltwater at the mouth of the Columbia, are outstanding to eat. But like with any salmon species, it's important to keep them cold, and most people prefer to bleed their fish right away.
And one of the things that we always do is when we put the fish in the box, we make sure that we bleed them. And the way we do that is we just rip the gills, and it'll really help, in the quality of the meat.
This is stuff that we're fishing with is the sockeye, the cha-cha sockeye squitters, and they're rigged up with a 1.5 or a 2-inch squid body, beads in between the hooks, 1/0 hooks, and a smile blade. Run a short leader to your dodger, so you get a lot of movement out of it.
Got it. Fish on. Ripped that right out of the downrigger clip himself. That was a hard hit. Bobby, 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 Bobby.
Good job.
Yeah, we caught that one on the white, and I'm going to change out the other rod to a white.
That's been our That's
The
been
white's
our
been the
go-to.
one that we've been doing the best on. We've got about an 8-inch leader, 9-inch leader to the squitter, and between your squitter and dodger. And is what it does, it gives you a tremendous amount of movement out of the dodger itself, which is what really winds the fish up.
Sockeye fishing on the Columbia has only been open to sport fishermen for the past few years, after many years of no fishing. So in a way, most people are really just learning how to fish for sockeye for the first time, and to take advantage of the incredible new runs.
Well, what brought this run back was the collaborative effort between the Canadians and the Colville Indians up here. And the sockeye actually run up the Okanagan River. Nothing can get past Chief Joseph, which is another 10 miles up the river from here. There's no fish ladders or anything over that dam. So the sockeye actually go up the Okanagan River and up into Canada, into the lake up there. Go through Asuyas into the next lake. And they brought this whole program back. 3 years ago was the first year that we were able to fish it, and we had like 200,000 plus fish in here. And the fishing was just absolutely fantastic. This year, they didn't realize they were going to get this many back, but as of to date, we've got over 520,000 sockeye over Bonneville Dam, and most of those fish are coming up here. You've got a few that go into Idaho, very few, and then you've got a few that go up to Lake Wenatchee, and you're talking 50, 60,000 fish out of 520. So you're talking about a pretty good amount of fish, and this fishery never existed before 3 years ago. So it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, you got people coming from California, Nevada, Arizona, coming up here just to fish this sockeye fishery.
I knew that would be interesting with that net.
It's all right, it's in the boat.
My first salmon ever.
Hey, it was? Right on. You don't need a bunch of fancy equipment. Anybody can come out here and do it. It's great.
Is the downrigger still down?
It's all right.
After we finished this day, Bobby cooked up a few of these salmon, and they were great.
job.
I'm not sure what type of seasoning he used, but if you're curious about a good way to cook sockeye, you might email Bobby at bloomis@maxlure.com. And if you have any questions about getting rigged up for sockeye or about any of the Max Lure products, you can call during business hours or visit their website at maxlure.com. Salmon anglers, this year Lamiglas has introduced 3 new composite models in the Quick series, a line of rods that has taken over the professional guide community as the ultimate salmon rod that matches the Northwest fisheries perfectly.
With the new Kenai Quick series of rods we designed for salmon, we have 3 new models. We have the XCC 793 designed for spinner fishing, whether it's trolling or anchored. That's a model designed for spinners. The new 885, which we've designed for wobbler fishing, your heavy lead applications. And the new 965. That's designed for your estuary fishers, your Astoria, Tillamook, and also you can do those in your heavy lead wobbler fisheries.
Find the Lamiglas Quick series at all reputable retailers and visit lamiglas.com for help picking out the perfect rod for you. It's a foggy summer morning in Astoria at the mouth of the Columbia River, and the sea lions are fat and happy on the docks as they relax in the warmth of August and wait for their next opportunity to go fishing. Today, we're gonna beat the sea lions out to what's known as the Buoy 10 fishery on the Columbia River for fall Chinook. We're with Doug Hayes of Oregon Tackle, who's brought some friends and family out to fish with guide Frank Russum. Doug's not only hoping to catch a Chinook, but to be the first one to catch a Chinook with the new Oregon Tackle Super Teaser, which Doug has been developing for several months. It's had good success with kokanee and coho, but this is the first try for Chinook.
We're gonna put this one down to 25 feet. We're gonna stagger the different depths. 25 worked really good yesterday, but we also got them down to 60. So it's got a line counter on it, so set it to 0. Well, these are fresh herring. Well, they're coming in a little small this year, so instead of plug cutting them, it makes them even smaller yet. I'm gonna fish these whole. And I got a real simple method to do it. Just take a piece of toothpick or a little brad nail, put it right there, that sews the mouth shut. I got a fixed tie mooching rig here. One's got a 5/0 and a 4/0, right about the lateral line of it, running right underneath the dorsal fin there. There's your hook. Now you just get a slight bend and 2 1/2 inches. That's a very simple way to rig up a whole bait. They always spin when you do that. It puts that back hook behind the tail where the fish come up. They come up short. They can grab that. If it hurts anybody, it's Oregon tackle lead. There you go. Let's take down 25 feet.
How far?
25 feet. We're starting to get little tide rips here. You see the current change, a little ripple on the water here. That's from the tide coming in. We don't have a very big tide, actually a fairly small tide today, so you won't see a lot. But there's times you get about a 3-foot chop in here when the big tides come in. You get an 8, 9, 10-foot tide coming in there. It gets pretty bouncy in here. This is beautiful today, though.
So what we got here is the Oregon tackle teaser, and all it does is replicate a school of fish flowing through the water. We've got a scent chamber right here. So what I'm going to do is inject that. A little bit of scent in here. We're using the Procure. You see how that just fills right up? Now that's going to leach back out over our bait here. And we got our bait fairly in close to this. It's going to be about 1.5 feet. This thing is going to emulate the bait going after some other fish. So that'll attract the Chinook hopefully today. We're going to find out. Drop it down in the water.
Here's a lead for you. Okay, it's real important to have this lead so it doesn't tangle up in the tractor right here. So you want to have a shorter lead line in your leader between the swivel and the tractor. Get it too far back, it'll just tangle in there and make a big mess. You want to reel that one up, Adam, so we can get this one out? Looks like a school of bait fish to me, doesn't it? So lift this one down to 35 feet. We'll have the front one to 25 and the back one to 35. When we start catching fish, we start marking a lot of fish, then we'll get all the baits with the depth of fish are running.
Welcome back to the mouth of the Columbia River. I'm Justin Wolff. Doug Hayes of Oregon Tackle is trying his new super teaser on Chinook for the first time, and I'll admit that I was a little skeptical until the one rod with the teaser went off first.
Yeah. So here's our first fish of the day. We've only been trolling for about a half hour. Had that umbrella Oregon Tackle teaser on there. I like to leave that clicker on because I like to hear that thing zing sometimes, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna let Adam net him, all right?
Yeah, I've been at it.
Okay. I'll just watch the boat here and don't run anybody over.
Yeah, this is definitely a Chinook. He's took a couple runs diving down on this. Where typically your silvers they'll dance on the top a little bit. They reel in a little bit easier. They're smaller fish this time of the year. To where the Chinook are a little bit heavier. I've heard of a 37.5 come in so far this year. So there's some nice quality fish in here.
Good way to start the morning out. Nice sunny day with fish on. Using a brand new tractor system and it's working. Let's see what we got here.
Nice little fin clip Chinook. I'm gonna bring him right to you, Adam.
Pull some slack off the reel.
You got the reversing that job on that one.
A lot of these are Rogue River stockfish going to Young's Bay, and they don't seem to have quite as dark a mouth on them as a lot of the other Chinook.
Yep.
They have a run of Rogue River stockfish to go to Young's Bay specifically for the gill netters. So they have a terminal fishery there. So what goes to here this time of year, we're fishing on these Rogue River stock. They're nice bright fish, not particularly large, but that's what they look like.
So we just released or unhooked this fish here. And there's the rig up we had on there. The scent chamber, we had it full of Pro-Cure. And about 1.5 foot back to these hooks. And he smacked it. We've only been fishing for about a half hour.
With these little spinners on here, they actually look like they could be little fish in the water. The big flashers, they do got a lot of color and a lot of pop to them, but they don't look like anything at all in nature. These, even though it doesn't look like a real fish, it does look like movement and little fish moving around.
Like a school of fish going through.
Like a school of fish.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
Fish, fish. Okay, who wants this fish? Let's get on that fish.
Reel the other rods up.
Jumping out. Oh. That's a little jack.
Is it?
Oh.
The sea lion just get it or what?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a jack.
I don't, maybe he fooled me there.
Whoa.
Pull up, walk back.
Don't back up. Lift the rod higher. Don't hold the rod that way. Don't hold the rod that way. That's how you break a rod. There you go. Lift up from right there. There you go.
And walk backwards.
Don't rock what? Don't walk back. Just lift up. Stay close to the edge of the boat. That's the way to get close to the edge of the boat. There you go. You walk back, you pull the fish underneath the boat. Gotta bring them up. There we go. Pull some slack off the reel there. Watch the front. Wow.
A jack. Yeah, jack.
Thanks for watching today's episode of Angler West TV. You know, it's only with the sponsor support that the show is made possible, so please thank them when you can. Now get out there and do some great fishing.